all the time, and I'm just like this big tub of lard that people always, that's the way they portray it on TV, is that they just keep eating and indulging. No.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Your game's game over. Take me on this roller coaster. All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm loving my makeup today. Let me know what y'all think, and let me know ways that I can improve this finger wave method that I got going on. Right now, I've been doing it with Got to Be Glue, but I digress. Anyways, hi guys. I want to make a quick video before I go to work because I actually clock in at 2 o'clock and it is 1:33. But I wanted to talk is how to know if you have a food addiction. And people really try to play like food addiction is not a real thing. Okay? But let's look at the facts. The way when people started getting addicted to cocaine, when people started getting addicted to heroin, when weed was everything that everybody was smoking, it was just things that people were getting hooked on. When I say weed, because a lot of people say, oh, you can't get addicted to weed. But if we're being honest, there's some people that cannot live without that shit. Like, they show addictive symptoms when they don't smoke. So I'm not saying you can get addicted to it, but I'm just saying it be looking the same to a little addiction. And that leads me into food addiction. There was all these cases of drugs when everybody was getting hooked on them, but there's also cases of food and people getting hooked on them. And if there wasn't, there wouldn't be such a problem with obesity in this country, especially. So I say that because it's getting, obviously it's noticeable, right? People have been talking about obesity in schools, especially in younger children. People are just getting bigger and bigger. And also there's this thing with flights. Now, people are saying that the passengers are just too heavy, and now they're talking about weighing passengers and all this extra stuff. So you cannot say that there isn't gonna be a problem with food addiction. The reason why these people are so big, why? Why are these people so big? Is it because bad food for you that makes you fat is cheaper? 100%. Very easy access. Fast foods is definitely, you know, you get the worst food the fastest, it's the cheapest. So people are feeding it to their children more, people are eating it more because everybody needs everything fast. And not only that, it's what's in these foods. It is what is in these foods that people are actually getting addicted to. You know what I'm saying? Because people like fruits, people like vegetables. Like, it's not like nobody's eating them. But if you've seen the cost of them, it's harder to get, especially for people in lower income families. It's harder to have access to these foods. And not even, well, access, yes, because access to fresh fruits and vegetables is harder for low income families in certain neighborhoods. It is more expensive. So they are forced to feed their children the fastest and the cheapest things that they can find. And all of these fast and cheap foods have all of these weird ass ingredients. Weird. Like Jell-O? Vegans can't even eat Jell-O. Why can't vegans eat Jell-O? Exactly. The jelly part? Yeah. I just can't. I love Jell-O. I love Jell-O. And that should tell you something. That should tell you right there. Something as simple as Jell-O, something that you are feeding your kids, is so gross. What they make hot dogs out of, gross. And you can only imagine what sometimes chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Somebody told me that it was like some pink shit. pink and it turns into this magnificent little nugget. I love McDonald's chicken nuggets. Okay, I'm guilty. I am guilty. And I can definitely say that I have a food addiction as well. Self-diagnosed 100%. But when I sit down and actually think about that shit, and when I think of what addiction looks like, because I've seen it firsthand, and when I think of how my relationship is with food, I was like, oh shit. Oh boy. Houston, we have a problem. So let's talk about the signs of food addiction when you're eating, okay? So when you are eating is really important, okay? So yeah, you eat when you're hungry, obviously. Or when you feel hungry anyways. But when else are you eating? Are you eating when you're really, really happy? Are you eating when you're really, really sad? Are you eating when you're really, really upset? Are you eating when you're really, really bored? All of these things play a really big part in this food addiction game. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's gonna be different. I actually don't eat when I'm upset. When I'm upset, when I'm angry, I can't eat. I don't even want anyone to talk to me. But some of probably our people differ. There's a difference between my anger levels. When I'm like so upset like I just can't, then no, I'll stick myself in my room and nobody talk to me. I don't want anything, leave me alone. But when I get like upset, I'm mad, and to make me feel better, I'm gonna eat. And when I'm sad, I'm definitely gonna eat. Because when you're sad, you just feel a void of just like emptiness. All these emotions are just, and you want the food to just absorb all of that. And it feels good to eat. Like when you're eating, the act of it just feels so good. You're so happy with this food in front of you. And it's not just like, this is my favorite food. Like, thank you, I love this. This is so good. It's just like joy. Food, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the one thing that's just going to make you complete in that moment. So definitely emotional eaters is a big sign of that. And let me go into the happy part. I want to say, because it kind of goes into another sign of how you probably became addicted to food, and signs that you are addicted to food is like rewarding yourself with food can become a problem. And all of these signs, people are probably gonna be like, well, I do that, and I don't think I'm addicted to food, like I'm not obese and all this extra stuff. And that's 100% fine. But I'm talking about those people where it's an actual issue for. And we'll get more into that. So when you reward yourself with foods, like, okay, I'm gonna do this so that I can eat this. I'm gonna do this so I can eat this. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just, oh, I'm gonna take myself out and I'm gonna have a good time, so I'm gonna do what I need to do and reward myself for that. No, it doesn't even have to be anything like that. Stuff that will like actually make you feel good, where you get dressed out, you go out with people and you have a good time. No, this is just rewarding yourself with food that maybe you know you shouldn't be eating. Maybe food that you said you wouldn't eat anymore. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, like for me, food was definitely rewarding in our house. Especially I want to, with low income families, that whenever we got like money, we were rewarded with good food. You know, food that we never got to eat on a regular basis. Like, we're not eating french fries and chicken nuggets today. We having sushi, or we're having this, or we're having sausage, or we're having steak, or we're having this and this and then this and that. You know what I'm saying? So that rewardness of food, it kind of was built in. Now, again, I'm speaking from my own experience. It kind of was built into my own life now. That's one sign, rewarding yourself with foods. Another sign is the overeating. And when I say overeating, I don't mean you just eating and stuffing your face all day. Because I want to be very clear. When I say I overeat, I don't eat all day. Sometimes I only eat once a day. And that's just it. Like, I can't eat breakfast. I hate breakfast. I hate the thought of eating in the morning. Okay? And I don't know what it is about me in the daytime. I just love the daytime so much that I want to do as much things as I possibly can. And sometimes I don't even think about eating until it's at night and I'm alone and it's dark and I don't have anything else to do. So let's eat. I can go without eating. It's not like I need food all the time and I'm just like this big tub of lard that people always, that's the way they portray it on TV, is that they just keep eating and indulging. No. Is that we may have actually bad eating habits. And so for me, struggling like that all day without eating at night, that hunger is gonna kick in like something fucking serious. And nothing you eat is gonna feel like it is filling you up. Especially if you're at a certain size and your stomach is at a certain size, it takes a lot more to feel full. So if you're not eating throughout the day and then you just decide to eat at night, ooh, child. And eating at night, I wanna say, it's not like you can't do it, but it's not the best to do, especially if you eat really, really late, because what are you doing after that? You're going to sleep. You're not working this food off, because food is fuel. And you're just eating and then sleeping. You're not doing anything to burn off that fuel, which is the sole purpose of what food is designed for and what our body actually needs it for. Okay? So then you eat and then you're like, okay, well now I need something sweet. And then, after that, you kind of want something else because you're kind of still hungry. And you just keep going and going and going in this one session. And then after, you just feel gross. You just feel disgusting and you feel so big and you feel so bloated. And the only thing that you probably want to do now is go to sleep. It is late at night. It is dark. You don't feel good about yourself anymore. And then you lay the fuck down. One time, if I'm being 100% completely motherfucking honest, is that I did that one time and I woke up in the middle of the night and I was throwing up. Because I had so much food in my system, I didn't let it digest, and I just shoved a bunch of shit in my face at one sitting that I literally couldn't even sleep. I was woken up from my sleep because I had to throw all that shit up. Come on. That's a problem. That is a problem. Another sign is when you see food, when you see it visually, when you smell it, when you talk about it. We may call it cravings. Some people do have cravings, normal cravings. We have little craving obsessions. So let's say you're scrolling on the internet and you see this delicious, delectable sandwich or this burger or this chicken sandwich. So good. And now you cannot even do anything else before you get that sandwich. Like, you need that fucking sandwich or something close to it, or something that's just gonna be as good as the way that sandwich just looked right now in your face. It becomes an obsession. It becomes an obsession until you get something that will satisfy that craving. And I'm not even saying like you're just on a hunt because you're craving this. Like, it will become the only thing that you're able to think about until you get it. That shit is a struggle because there's nothing but food on Instagram and TikTok. I'm forever. And the way that people are overindulging in mukbangs right now, like literally, it's crazy. And then let's talk about the withdrawals. When I said addictions, I meant that shit. People go through food withdrawals. And I'm not talking about just food. I'm talking about a certain foods that people will start going through withdrawals because their body's so used to it. Sugar, salt, sodium, and all those weird ass ingredients that you see on the back of some of your favorite foods. Your body literally craves it, wants it, needs it, because that's what it's used to being fed. So when you go on these diets, and these diets are so fucking hard to stick to, you keep breaking your diets because of whatever, maybe your emotions start to change. You're getting angry, you're getting antsy, you're getting shaky because you cannot have these foods. And then once you break your diet and you have these foods, you feel totally fine. So the whole thing about, women, well, the joke is mostly with women, but really everybody gets hangry. People need food, right? We do need food. When you are hungry and you haven't eaten all day, maybe you will be a little bit more agitated than usual. But if you really pay attention to certain people, especially certain people with these bad food habits, when you pay attention even to your own feelings, that shit is crazy. Like one time I was just on a fucking rampage because either I was on a diet and I couldn't eat the foods that I wanted or all this extra stuff. And I was just like a bitch. And it was all because I couldn't have the foods that I wanted. I probably was full. I probably had just ate some shit that was healthier for me, that was better for me. But I'm still gonna crave and feel hungry for the shit that I want, which is all the bad shit. It's a problem. And it's not to come for anybody with that is plus size or that is obese or whatever. I'm not saying that you need to change your life, you need to change the way that you look, or you're unhealthy. I'm not saying any of that stuff. But I'm saying that if you have any issues like this and your relationship with food is as toxic as this, you may have to like actually make some type of change. Because even though I'm beautiful and even though I love me, I know that I have these issues with food that I want to change, because I know that it can potentially be something really bad for me later in the future. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you need to be skinny in order to be healthy, but I'm saying if I keep going down, or if we keep going down the same road, if you agree with any of these things, that it's potentially is going to lead into some unhealthy shit. And you can deny it, because I've denied it this whole time. I always thought that, me especially, because seeing addiction in my family, like that shit was like hereditary in my family. It seemed like so many people in my family had addiction. I was like, I used to be so proud of myself. I don't have addictions. I don't have any addictions to drugs. I don't have any addictions to alcohol. I don't have any addictions. Because to me, at first, when I really didn't understand it, it was more of like a weaker thing, like a weak mindset to have an addiction, to have something else control your life. But if we sit down and actually think about it, you gotta be a strong motherfucker to have an addiction, because that shit will control your whole life. And you're like, you're just completely giving yourself to that. And that shit is hard, man, because you can't enjoy your life anymore. And so coming to terms with that for myself, that I actually did have an addiction that could be slowly killing me, because I'm not unhealthy, but I'm not the healthiest person in the world. I have a lot of issues when it comes to like my stamina, gone. I huff and puff going upstairs. I huff and puff, you know, like crazy when it comes to these like extensive exercises. My back be hurting, you know, all this extra stuff that like my hip be hurting. I have a bad hip. I'm only 26 years old. I've had a bad hip for like a few years now. These are not things that we should be experiencing. And I think that's something that people don't talk about either. Everybody wants to talk about, you know, body positivity and all that extra stuff. And that's fine. We should always be accepted for how we look. And you should always love yourself no matter how you look. But we can't actually ignore the dangers of obesity and these food addictions and these bad food habits. Not something that we could just brush under the rug, because now what? It's still an issue and we need to talk about it. So, of course, please comment if you agree or if you don't agree. I say that all the time. I accept all comments besides disrespect. Okay? So you will get blocked. But besides that, let me know what you feel about it. Of course, if you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications. And y'all know where I'm gonna see y'all in the next video, because it's about 1:53 now and I gotta clock into work. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. You're so beautiful. Wear your crown, sis. Wear your crown, sis.